Hi everyone, welcome to the Honeybee Knits podcast. My name is Melissa and I'm coming to you from 45 minutes north of Cincinnati, where I live with my husband, our dog, and our 2 cats. Thank you so much to everybody who is coming back to view the podcast a second, third, fourth, 500th time. I know it's not 500 because I don't have 500 episodes. And welcome to all new viewers. I hope you enjoy the podcast. If you have any questions about anything I mention in this podcast, please comment below. If you like the video, please like and subscribe on YouTube. So if you haven't guessed yet, and my hair is like ridiculous today, but if you haven't guessed, this is a knitting podcast, and I was going to wear some knitting today because I had my Comfort Fade cardigan that I made. I showed it in a few podcasts ago. But it just got too warm in here. So here I am with my t-shirt, and yeah, so I don't have a whole lot to talk about today, but I did want to podcast because I'm leaving for Rhinebeck next Thursday, and I have some stuff that I wanted to show you before I left, and today is probably the only day I'm going to have time to do that. So I am a little out of sorts because I'm not used to actually having time to podcast, so I'm normally like, okay, I got to do this, this, and this, and rush through it. But on the agenda today, I have 2 FOs. I have no whips. No whips. That's because I just finished a project last night. I have a few acquisitions that came in the mail, and I have some shop stuff, and we also have giveaways. So I'm going to jump right in with FOs. So my first finished object is my Desert Vista Dye Works socks for September, and I made these in the radioactive Zombody colorway. Maybe it's zombie color. I think it's Zombody. Yeah, and I really like how they turned out. These are on her 75-25 base. I have a lot of Desert Vista Dye Works yarn, and at some point I decided my favorite base of hers is Sparkle. Go figure. And so I just realized too that I'm using my boring metal sock blockers that I blocked them on instead of my pretty wood ones. I'll have to make sure I pull those out for the next podcast. But what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Anyway, I like her Sparkle base the best, and so I'm trying to use up all my 75-25 yarn from her so that I can dig into all the Sparkle that I have. And I think I only have 2 skeins left, one for October and one for November. So I have picked out my colorway for November. I think it's going to be Here Comes the Zombride. I get so tongue-tied on these colorways. But anyway, this is my standard sock formula. I do 64 stitches casted on, 20 rows of 2x2 twisted rib, 60 rows of stockinette just knitting. I do a decrease row. I put markers in for my afterthought heel. I knit 50 rows on the foot, do a rounded toe and a Kitchener bind off, and then I steek and pick up my afterthought heel and knit that. So I love that formula. It fits me perfectly, so I will continue with it. And I am hoping to cast on Desert Vista Dye Works socks tonight. I want to say while I'm editing the podcast, but honestly, I'm right in the midst of Advent calendar prep, and so I will probably be prepping scanning yarn while editing the podcast because I'll talk about it. I'll just talk about it real quick. I have finished dyeing up all the Advent calendars. They're all dyed. Now they just have to be scanned, labeled, packaged, and sent out. So I'm well on my way to having those ready before I leave for Rhinebeck. And when I get back from Rhinebeck, I have to add a few extra things in there that I don't quite have yet, and then they will be sent out to all of you lovely viewers. Or customers, whoever purchased them. So my next finished object is what I spent the bulk of my time on the last couple weeks, and I was hoping that this would be done in a few days, and then I didn't realize that it was 300 grams of fingering weight yarn, so I don't know why I thought I would have it done in like a day or two, but I spent a good week or a week and a half on it. So that's blah. Anyway, but so I ordered the Doctor Who scarf kit from Yarn Therapist, and it's really difficult to show this scarf because it is so long. I do have it doubled up, so this is how long it is in real life, and you can see the tassels. So the Yarn Therapist has a Doctor Who scarf kit that she makes, and I chose the cashmere base, so it's 80-10-10. It's 300 grams of fingering weight yarn, which is essentially 1,200 yards, I believe. It is, I would say, probably about 8 or 9 feet long. I would say 9 feet with the tassels. And how I knit it was, the yarn is self-striping, so I don't have to change colors. And what I did is I just knit garter. I cast it on, I think, 67 stitches. Maybe it was 68 stitches. Which there's a Doctor Who scarf knit pattern out there that's free. If you Google it, you can find it, and that's how many it recommended to cast on, so that's what I cast it on. So I cast it on the amount of stitches, and then I actually saw Marsha from Fairy Little knitting this kit about a year ago, and that's why I wanted to make it. And then I asked my husband if his friend, who is a huge Doctor Who fan, would wear it if I knit it, and he said, of course, he's actually been wanting one. So I was like, well, that gives me somebody to knit it for, so I have an excuse to knit it. And then I said, I bought it in like April, and I was like, oh, I'll have it for him by the time winter comes. And the deadline was like end of September. Actually, I think it was like September 1st, and then I was like, oh, end of September, but then like things got in the way. So I didn't end up getting it knit until now. But yeah, so I think I spent like 11 days, 12 days on this, because I started it the last day of September. So it took me a while. It took me about 2 weeks just knitting on this. Granted, I've only been knitting about 2 or 3 hours a day, sometimes more, sometimes less, sometimes not at all. So anyway, cast it on that many stitches, and then I noticed in Fairy Little podcast, she said that she does a purl row at the color change, so that all the color changes are on the wrong side so that you can't see them, and it also gives it a little bit of texture. So I did the same thing. I copied her, so now you can see the color changes, the changes in the bumps are all on the same side, so you kind of have like a wrong side to the scarf, and then you have a right side. And I actually really like that because you can't really tell that there's a purl row. It blends in, but it also gives it a little bit more texture. The tassels were actually very simple to make. The kit that I ordered, I requested the extra minis for tassels. So it came in like a 20 or 30 gram ball, and I just separated all the colors. So I wound each color, there's 7 colors, into a smaller ball. And then I held them together, and I cut out a 5.5 inch, I meant to do 5 inches, but I accidentally did 5.5 inches. I don't know what happened. A piece of cardboard out of like an Amazon cardboard box. And I just wrapped it around twice and then snipped. And then I used the Very Pink knits tutorial on YouTube. So if you want to know how to tie your knots to get the tassel effect, she has a good tutorial on there. And then I just tied them on. I knotted them on and trimmed them up, and it was actually super easy. It only took me, I think, like an hour and a half to make 14 tassels and attach them. So yeah, it was actually, I was really dreading it and putting it off, but it actually was not bad at all. So I really, really, really love this scarf, and I actually want one for myself now, but I don't know that I don't want to spend the time knitting it right now. So I would highly recommend this yarn. It's super soft. You can definitely feel the cashmere in it, and I absolutely adore this. I have enough yarn left over to put each of these colors in my Cozy Memories blanket. So whenever I get back to knitting on that, I will add those. And I will say that I haven't touched my Cozy Memories blanket at all this year, not once. and I actually don't plan on it. And I love my Cozy Memories blanket, and I do want to add to it. It just kind of got to a point where like I was only, like I wanted to do 1 square a day, but then like half my blanket is yarn that I've used in actual projects that I've knit, and half of it is just minis that people have given me or that I purchased. And so like in swapless swaps and stuff. So it kind of got to a point where I wasn't finishing projects fast enough for the, like, so if it's looking at me, so for the right side of my blanket, so for you guys it'd be the left. So anyway, I wasn't finishing projects fast enough to add to the right side in order to do the left side. So I decided to take the year off, make some projects, get some minis saved up for my projects, and then put those in there whenever I'm ready to pick it back up and start working on it again. Okay, so that's actually all the knitting I have. I have some shop stuff I want to show you really quick, and then we'll get into acquisitions, and only in that order because my shop stuff is what's closest to me. And then I will take a break and go draw prize winners for the giveaways. So, the first thing that I want to show you is the October holiday sock sets that I created. November sock sets are available as in my shop right now. Those will be shipping out on November 1st, and obviously November's holiday is going to be Thanksgiving. So October's was Halloween, and here it is. So I have this on Queen Bee base and Sparkle base. I did put up dyed to order listings for this because I had so many requests for these. So if you want one, make sure you go out and order it. I'm going to close those probably right before I leave for Rhinebeck so I can order the yarn, and then they will be dyed up the week I get back and sent out. So I'll show you on my Sparkle base. So here it is. So this is called Double Double Toil and Trouble. And it has purple and black and orange in there. And the orange is getting a bit washed out, but it does match this like deeper orange in here. So yeah, and this is my Sparkle base, and guys, look at that sparkle. And I like how, I don't know why lately, but when I dye on my Sparkle base, the stellina kind of has like a hue to match the color. So this one looks like bluish stellina. It started out, it's silver stellina, but I don't think you can tell. But I've really been enjoying my Sparkle base lately. And yeah, so this is available on my Sparkle, Queen, and Worker Bee, which is my 80-20, my 75-25, and then of course Sparkle is 75-20, and then 5% stellina. So I love these. Those are available as pre-order in the shop. These are available right now as ready to ship, and this is Witch's Brew, and this is, I created this colorway last year with different dyes that I use, so I have recreated it with my new dyes, and I love it, and I have it on 3 bases to show you, but I do have 6 bases available in the shop. I don't know if all the bases are available. There might be 1 or 2 that are sold out because I only dyed up 3 skeins on each base. So there's a very limited quantity of these, and if you order them now, they will be shipped out in time for you to receive them for Halloween. So make sure if you're interested, you go and check them out. So this base is my new Sparkle DK, and I have this on Sparkle DK and regular DK. And then I have, this is my 75-25 Worker Bee base. And I think these would make really cool socks. And then this is my 80-10-10 Luxe base, which is my cashmere base. So I really, really love how this turned out. I love like the dirty gray parts. I love like the light natural parts. I love the green, but the purple has my heart, and it's my favorite, that deep, dark purple. So anyway, so if you want one of these, make sure you go get it soon because there is a limited quantity available, and I'm not going to have time to dye up any more in time for them to be shipped and at your door before Halloween. So enjoy. So that's my shop news, and then we'll move right into acquisitions. Nothing new or surprising here, just some stuff that I've ordered from some of my favorite dyers. over the past couple months, and these are dyed to order. So these orders were placed a while ago. The only thing that I've really purchased since Las Vegas was I purchased 2 skeins of Nomadic Yarns, Harry Potter colorways, and I know I said I wasn't going to purchase them, but I'm starting to realize, like, if I'm not purchasing other things, I have the money to get the stuff that I want to collect, so it was fine. And I purchased the Rita Skeeter colorway. So with the 2 that I just purchased, I think I'm only going to be missing 1 or 2 Harry Potter colorways, which I'll get when she releases them next time. And then I think I mentioned right before I left for Las Vegas, or maybe it was right when I got back, I ordered another order from Desert Vista Dye Works, which I just got my 30% off coupon, so I was about to order more, and I'm actually going to wait until I get back from Rhinebeck to do it. But so I ordered Clue, and these are all on Sparkle. I ordered Support the Fight. I ordered Milk and Cookies. This is Hubbard Glacier. And on Wednesdays, Hot Chocolate and Marshmallows, which I've been eyeing this one for a long time, so I'm glad I finally got it. And finally, Crystal Ball Frappuccino. So that's all of my acquisitions for this week. And I know this is going to be a short podcast because I only have giveaways left, and then I have a little bit of chit chat. But after that, I have been vlogging for Vlogtober, so I will put up a separate video with some of those clips for you guys to see what I've been up to. And it'll actually show kind of the progression of the Doctor Who scarf and all the fun stuff. So I'm gonna go draw winners, and I will be right back. Alright guys, I am back. I had a bit of a cold chill, so I decided to put on my sweater. Also, I went and got a bite to eat, so now there's a stain on my white shirt, so you can ignore that. But okay, so I have pulled winners for 3 different knit-alongs. So let's get started. And oh my goodness, guys, my hair is ridiculous today. Okay, so let me go ahead and announce those. So the first knit-along, we have 9 winners today for 3 different knit-alongs. So the first knit-along is the Honeybee Knits knit-along. This is a knit-along that is ran quarterly in the Ravelry group. If you knit with Honeybee Knits yarn, anything, you put your finished objects in that thread, and I will pull winners at the end of every 3 months. If I get more pattern donations or prizes in, then I will pull more winners. But typically I'm going to pull 3 winners. So the first winner is the actual, and this winner will get a $30 credit to my shop. In other words, go into my shop, pick something out for $30, let me know what you want, and I will send it out to you. And it doesn't expire, so if there's nothing in there that you want right now, or if you want a custom order, just message me and let me know, and I will send it out to you. So the first one is number 8, which is VT Kimmy Kim. So you have won $30 towards my shop, so you can pick anything up to $30 from my shop. The second 2 are pattern prize winners. You know the deal. Message me on Ravelry. Oh, all winners, if you win a physical prize, please message me on Ravelry with your address. If you win a pattern prize, you win a pattern up to $7 US, so message me with which pattern you would like. So the winner for the HBK knit along for the patterns is number 2 and number 16, which is Yarn Bethy, and Laura 903, which is Laura from Knit for Brains. And she actually won on one of the hats that she actually knit me out of my yarn. So congratulations, ladies. If you could get in touch with me, I'll get you your prizes. The second knit along we have is the quarter 3 Whip It Thursday thread, and this is a year-long knit along that I pull prizes for quarterly. and it's just essentially some motivation to get some of your languishing whips off the needles. It is something I'm going to be focusing on more after Rhinebeck and after closer towards Christmas. I used to do a 12 days of casting on, but I think I'm going to do a 12 days of whips this year, so stay tuned for that. So the first winner gets the prize package, so email me or message me on Revelry with your address, and that is number 13, which is the Knitted Lamb, so congratulations. And the 2 pattern prizes were number 10 and number 9, which is V-Shawl 7 and Kim Geek 83, so congratulations. The third prize, the third knit along I drew prizes for is the September Socks thread, and the prize package that goes out in the mail is to number 36, which is Laney 3, so please send me your address. And then the 2 pattern prizes is number 43, which is Sarah's Nana, and number 47, which is Merlin Magic 21. So congratulations to all 9 of my winners. I hope you caught that all. Message me on Revelry. I'm Melissa1308 with the details of the patterns you want or your address that you want your package to go to, and I will get that out to you as soon as possible. So this is a relatively short episode today, but like I said, I'm going to be adding some vlog stuff in there. I have been pretty busy. I have been reading at least 50 pages a day. I've been knitting at least 2 hours a day. Sometimes, I think there's been 2 days within the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks that I haven't had time to knit, but for the most part I've been doing really well with knitting. My foot is healed. It looks so much better. I'm able to walk on it. I actually started back to Couch to 5K, but I didn't condition correctly, so I hurt my back. And by hurt my back, I just meant that it's just either there's a muscle inflamed or something happened to it and it just doesn't feel very good right now. So it's something I'm dealing with, and I would love to be doing the Couch to 5K, but right now with my back the way it is, I don't think it's a good idea. So that is going to have to be put on hold for another couple weeks. I do plan on conditioning again, so hopefully that will help. I'm going to start walking more like I was previously before my injury, and it's actually 4 weeks today that it happened. So it's been one thing after another, and you guys know that I'm in therapy. I go to therapy once a week, and I was talking to my therapist about this, and sometimes I just feel like it's not possible for somebody to have that many health problems, and it's like every time I fix or find a solution to one thing, there's something else that pops up, and it does get frustrating and overwhelming at times. But I'm just trying to remind myself that I didn't get to be the way I am overnight, and so it's going to take time to heal my body. And when you're in calorie deficit, it's easier for you to get sick. It's easier for your body, because your body is trying to learn to live off of a lower amount of calories. It's adjusting. Everything within your body is adjusting and trying to find its new homeostasis. So it's just a matter of trying to rebalance my body and continue to try and not giving up, and remembering that injuries happen, sickness happens. It's just a part of it, and as we go through it, it'll get better and it'll get easier, and my recovery times will be quicker. So I just keep looking forward to that, and I keep trying to stay positive. I'm continuing to go schedule all my doctor's appointments and go to all my doctor's appointments. With all of the health problems I've been experiencing lately, I have had to go to quite a few doctor's appointments and have quite a few tests ran. And so that's been kind of overwhelming, and it makes you kind of want to just ignore, like, it's not that you want to ignore the problem, it's that it just becomes too much to think about, so then you just want to stop. And so that's kind of the point I'm at, and I'm trying to really hard to make sure that I don't just stop and give up, because I feel better, I look better, and I know that it's all going to be worth it in the end. So I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep trying, and I encourage anybody out there who has an eating disorder or who struggles with anxiety and depression or who struggles with a lot of just health issues in general. Just keep your head up. It's going to get better. There's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. You'll have good days and you'll have bad days. And that's just all you can do. So knitting and reading helps keep me sane. This community helps keep me sane and keep my mind off of things. So thank you guys. I did want to say that I have been working really hard at advent calendars the last couple weeks, and I did finish dyeing them last Friday. And so I've spent the last week just slowly scanning them up so that they can be ready to be packaged. The thing is that I don't have all of the items yet for the advent calendars, and some are supposed to be delivered on Sunday. And so my goal right now, I have 8 of the 25 days scanned up, and so my goal is to scan up the rest this weekend. So all in all, I think I had like 850, does that sound right? I think so. 850 mini scans to dye and scan. And I've scanned up, I think, 250 of them. So I have another 500 and some mini scans to scan up this weekend, and then hopefully Sunday, when all the rest of the stuff comes in, I can start packaging things. There are 2 items that I will not have from other makers, and I've already announced that there will be a Notions pouch included from Levi from WTF Knitting, and there will also be a pattern included from Lori from Knit for Brains. So those 2 items I don't have physically yet, but they are being packaged separately from everything else, so no worries. They will be included in the final package, but I can go ahead and do my part and start packaging the minis by day, and I'm excited to do so. The rest of the goodies that are going in those packages, like I said, are being delivered on Sunday. There's one that's not being delivered until Tuesday, but that's fine. I can just put it in a later day. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited for them. I have 3-4 big boxes of goodies off to the side. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to ship them yet. I know I'm doing priority mail, flat rate shipping. The problem is that I ordered the medium boxes and they're a lot smaller than I thought they were, and I'm not sure that everything's going to fit in the medium boxes. So I'm going to be doing some work this weekend to try to get at least 1 advent calendar packaged up so that I can try to arrange it in the shipping box. I may have to order, I thought I ordered some large boxes. I know I did, and I ordered like 50 of them because I have 42 that I'm shipping out. And the next day, my postman, or maybe it was a couple days later, my postman left me 4 boxes on my doorstep. And I'm like, 4 boxes isn't gonna cover 42 packages. So I'm hoping I don't have to run around from post office to post office and steal all their large boxes, but if I have to, I will. I'm gonna get online again today and see if I can reorder them since they never showed up the first time. I was kind of hoping that they would just show up one day, but it's been 2 weeks and they haven't, so we'll see what happens. I have a feeling they didn't have enough, so they just brought what they had and closed out the order, even though they didn't complete the order. So we'll see what happens. For those of you that don't know, if you ship through USPS, you can go onto their website and order free packaging materials as far as their boxes or their envelopes go for flat rate shipping, and your postmaster or your mailman will just, or mailwoman will just deliver it to your door. So anyway, again, I'm hoping to have those done this week before I leave for Rhinebeck. And when I get back from Rhinebeck, I can stick the pattern from Laura in there and the pouch from Levi in there and print all the shipping labels and drop them off in my post office. So those will be on their way to you on November 1st. When I get back from Rhinebeck, I will also be dyeing up, I get back on the 22nd. On the 23rd, I'm going to be dyeing up Yarn of the Month, and hopefully and I will have that packaged and shipped out by the 25th. And then on the 24th, I'm going to be dyeing up the November holiday sock sets. So if you want one of those, the listings are still available in the shop, so make sure you go and get yours before they close. And those will be shipped out the same day as the advent calendars, which is November 1st. If you have ordered a skein of yarn or a notion from my shop and you ordered at the same time as a yarn of the month or a sock set, I will ship those with your yarn a month and the sock sets. I have had to stop shipping things separately just because of the cost to me. Essentially, when you place those two things in your cart together, you are only paying for shipping once. So if I ship you one item and then I ship another item later, I am paying twice, and typically it's about $3 per skein on average. So instead of me spending $4 to ship two skeins together, I have to spend $6 to ship them separate. And while $2 doesn't seem like a lot, I don't really have a big profit margin after everything is said and done with shipping and Etsy fees as it is. So it is quite a bit, it does take quite a bit away from my profit margin. And I don't think people realize this, but you may have seen the prices of yarn going up from your favorite indie dyers, and that's because the price of wool coming into the US has increased. There have been a few tariffs and a few different things that were put into place, and the price of wool in general has increased. And so because of that, wool costs are going up for the from our suppliers, and that's why it's being translated down to the customer. In addition to that, Etsy raised their fees and they've tacked on additional fees. So if you're shopping in an Etsy shop, you may see their prices go up a little bit because of that. And also our dye costs have gone up because there have been a tariff placed on dyes that come in from other countries, and so because of that, the cost of our dyes have gone up significantly as well. So those three things have unfortunately resulted in an increase in prices that gets passed on to the consumer. You know, I used to charge, I've raised my prices over the past year by about $5 a skein. And I debated really hard when I did it, and I didn't do it all at once. I gradually increased it, and in fact, some of my skeins in my shop, you'll see, are still at the lower prices. And the thing is that I used to feel guilty for charging so much for a skein of yarn, but Countess of Play said something a while back and it really resonated with me, and she talked about, I don't remember what the exact wording of the quote was, but she was talking about how a lot more work than you realize goes, not you, but a lot more work goes into dyeing yarn than what one would realize. So for example, when I first started, I didn't realize how much work it was. And we do it because we love it, and we do it because the community loves it. And it's our passion, right? But at the end of the day, we're spending a lot of time on something, and our time is valuable, and it is worth something, and our products are worth something. So we shouldn't feel guilty about charging a certain price for our products because we put a lot of time and effort into it. And if we were charging a cheaper price, then we're not going to want to put as much time and effort into it because there's really no reward, right? The reward at the end of the day is the profit that we receive from it. And if you're breaking even or you're not making a profit, then you're not going to want to spend as much time and effort into the product that you're making. And so for me, it's always been really important that I spend the time and make sure that what I'm putting out there is something that I love and I would want to use. And it's also important to me to kind of spoil my customers. So I love the packaging that I do, and I love the extra goodies that I include. But all of that, it takes away from the profit margin. So I've been doing I have a business degree, and this is something that I would like to do full-time eventually. Not necessarily dyeing yarn, but being a part of the yarn community and not having to work a corporate day job full-time. And so because this is something that I want in my future, I have to be smart about it from a business perspective instead of just like, I feel like my customers are my friends. And so a lot of times, like, you know, I don't know if any of this is making sense, and maybe I've talked about it way too much, but I hope you guys understand, and I'm really excited about some of the things that have launched in the shop, some of the things that are yet to come. I have the Disney Princess sock kits still available. I have the first 2. There will be 6 more colorways coming eventually. I just have to find the time to do it. Advent calendars and some of the yarn of the month and the sock sets kind of took away from that a little bit, but I have that planned. I have some mini skein kits planned for next year. I will be announcing my new theme for next year's Yarn of the Month Club in January, in December, so keep an ear out for that. And next week's Rhinebeck, we have 6 sleeps until we leave for Rhinebeck. I'm so excited. We are going to India Entangled and Needles Up on Friday. We are going to New York Sheep and Wool on Saturday, and I don't know that we're going to New York Sheep and Wool on Sunday or not. We talked about potentially taking a train into the city for a few hours to have lunch and go shopping. So it just depends on how Saturday goes and how we feel as to if we're going back on Sunday or if we're going to New York City on Sunday. And then we leave Monday morning to come home. So I'm so excited. It is so close. The weekend's gonna fly by, because weekends always do, because they're never long enough. And then I have 3 work days and then we leave. So yeah. So I am going to get off here. I'm going to clean up. I'm going to clean the house before Jason gets home. And then I'm going to skein yarn while I edit the podcast, and I'll probably skein yarn for most of the evening. Hopefully at some point I can, when my wrists get tired of skeining, hopefully at some point I can start my Desert Vista Dye Works socks for October. So I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you enjoy the vlog that I'm going to put up as well. Make sure that you get all your knitting time in this week and spend some time giving yourself some TLC, and yeah, just have a great week in general. And I will see you guys when I get back from New York. Bye!